Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be diving into an awesome Monday Night Football game. We have the best team in the NFL, the Detroit Lions, playing against the Green Bay Packers in Wisconsin. It's going to be a pretty awesome game. I can't wait. I know y'all are probably already aware of this, but I am a big Lions fan, so prepare for the slightest amount of bias. I really don't bring that bias of what teams I like into daily fantasy sports. Obviously, you just can't allow that to happen, but I am approaching this game in a definite Lions sort of a favorite approach for Draftkings tonight. So I don't want y'all to think it is biased. It just seems like the best matchups to me. So I'm going to jump right into this one. If you have not already, please do leave a like on this video. The support, again, has just been awesome. I can't thank you guys enough. So if you have been liking almost every video and commenting frequently, I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whether it's DraftKings, FanDuel, Yahoo, any DFS site, or season-long fantasy questions, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm happy to give y'all advice when I can. Let's go ahead and jump right into this one. Y'all know I don't like to play cash on these showdown slates. By the way, I did want to mention real quick, over on DFS Squid, literally every single DraftKings lineup I posted under the cash lineup section. The GPPs were hit or miss. One of the GPP for the main slate, the core was just, it was off. So, I mean, I don't want to say that some of them might have cashed. I mean, yeah, there's a chance, but every single cash lineup I posted yesterday cashed. It should have been a day of nothing but profit for the members over there. If you have not already, at least go make a free account and check it out. But let's go and jump right into this, though. Sorry about that. For cash, I'm approaching this pretty simply, honestly. I'm looking to go Matt Prater at captain, and that way I can, fit in Aaron Rodgers. I can fit in Aaron Jones. I can fit in Kerryon Johnson. I can fit in, MVS, Aaron Rodgers, #1 target, and then I can go Jamal Williams. Something like that, I think, is probably the best route for cash tonight. I wouldn't necessarily say that exact lineup, but that's pretty much what I would do. And then my favorite captain of the night is going to be Kerryon Johnson. We saw this Green Bay defense go ahead and get just absolutely exposed against Philly, giving up those touchdowns to Jordan Howard. Philip Lindsay had a huge game for Denver, and then Dalvin Cook had a huge game for Minnesota. Their front just doesn't seem to be there. I'm thinking this is probably the only way for Detroit, who wants to run the ball and play at a slow game. They want to keep this ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. They're in Green Bay. It's a divisional game. This is not something that's, skeptical. No, it's going to happen. They want to run the ball. They want to keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. Kerryon Johnson should see ridiculous volume tonight. He's my favorite captain for that reason. He will also probably be pretty popular, but there are a lot of ways to differentiate yourself after plugging him into the captain spot. If I don't have Kerryon and captain, I would probably have to go Aaron Jones for the ridiculous touchdown upside. Or maybe somebody like MVS and hope he gets 100+ and a touchdown, or somebody like Kenny Golladay and hope he gets 100+ and a touchdown. So either the starting running backs or either of the top two pass catchers, that's kind of what I would be looking at for my tournaments tonight. That's what most of my groups will be built around. But if we're building a little dummy lineup with Kerryon Johnson, I don't plan on fading Aaron Rodgers in too many lineups. I'm not locking Aaron Rodgers into every lineup. And I know that I'm sitting here, I put this jersey on just for the video. Y'all might be laughing. I'm not sold on Aaron Rodgers without Devontae Adams against this Detroit secondary, though. Justin Coleman is the #1 rated DB in the league right now, I believe. He is absolutely unreal, and now Darius Slay should be back to 100% playing in this game. They have one of the nastiest duos in Darius Big Play Slay and Justin Coleman. I'm not sold that Aaron Rodgers is going to have a game here. Aaron Jones might be one of their only outlets. So I'm going to say Aaron Jones is going to be the one for Green Bay that actually is able to score some touchdowns tonight. And it's tough to say that because the Detroit run defense really is good. I know they haven't started the year off too hot, but at the same time, you got to understand, they have Damian Snacks-Harris, who they got from the Giants last season, and he is a monster. If we look at this is just TJ Hawkinson, but if we just look at the past game logs, think about any running backs in these games that they've really allowed a big game to. Austin Eckler, a monster pass catching back, had a large amount of receptions when they played the Chargers. Excuse me. Sorry, the puppy's going wild. But other than Austin Eckler for the Chargers with that large amount of receptions coming out of the backfield, they really haven't allowed that much to running backs. they've allowed quite a few yards on the ground, but not to a specific running back. I'm okay with playing Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams in the same lineup. It'll differentiate yourself in tournaments. I think it's a pretty good play. I also expect Danny Amendola to play tonight, and if he does, I think that that Matt Stafford might check down to him on some shorter A-dots. It just makes sense to me. He'll stay away from Jair Alexander maybe, so when they do throw it, it might not even be to Kenny Galladay. It's probably going to be to like Marvin Jones on just a deep fade, or it's probably going to be a slant or something like that to Danny Amendola. TJ Hawkinson, pretty much the same concept as Amendola. But if we were to go ahead and plug in somebody like Aaron Rodgers in this lineup and his number one target, that's going to leave us with $31.50 left per player. So, I mean, then you can come in and hit him with like, go ahead and plug in Jamal Williams. And then you have both Green Bay running backs. Jamal Williams going to be, they're both involved in the passing game. You know, if Aaron Rodgers dumps one off and they take it, that's huge. So this is more of a Green Bay stack sort of lineup, and then plug in somebody like J.D. McKissick. McKissick is getting a little bit of volume, so I don't hate the play there. They're putting him in for more of a change of pace role. So that's what I think most people will probably be looking at for tournaments. For me, I think one of the best tournament plays, I know Kerryon Johnson is pretty much a lock for me in everything, just because I know the volume is going to be there. A lot of people are scared of this Green Bay secondary because of how good they've looked this year. That makes me just want to play Kenny Galladay. If it was the other way around, I would say I want to play MVS. A lot of people aren't really giving Detroit their secondary that much respect. Aaron Rodgers, just the pricing on DraftKings is absurd to me. With Aaron Rodgers being the highest priced player on the slate against this team, it just doesn't make sense. Aaron Jones easily should have been up above him, I think. And then I also think Stafford's dirt cheap. They're giving that Green Bay secondary way too much credit. They've started well. Don't get me wrong, though. But if we were to do something like this and then go plug in Aaron Jones and then plug in somebody like Williams, Jamal Williams, or these are the kind of the guys I'm targeting are these four right here. I don't want to not have Aaron Jones. It's just I feel like that's one of the only ways to really get exposure to this Green Bay team that I'm comfortable with. I don't think Stafford and Galladay are locks. I just think that's a really good way to separate yourself from the field. You're not going to have a lot of people putting Galladay in the captain. You're going to have even less people captaining Stafford. And Stafford, his upside, we all know it's there. He's been inconsistent to start this year. He was inconsistent last year. Ceiling game, middle of the pack, dud, good game. And the two good games were in the shootouts. And he didn't even play well against Philly. Like, every quarterback's exposing Philly, and he just had a very, very average dud fantasy game against them. He performs under pressure. He doesn't really perform against bad secondaries. But as always, when Green Bay is on a showdown slate, you just have to pick the Aaron Rodgers pass catcher that's going to catch multiple touchdowns. Geronimo Allison, Jimmy Graham, MVS. It's kind of a dart throw against this Detroit team. I think Jimmy Graham would probably be my favorite of the three for touchdown upside. MVS, always going to have 100-plus upside. They are going to throw the ball. It's Aaron Rodgers at home in a divisional game. But like I said, though, Kerryon Johnson, definitely a lock in all formats. If we wanted to build a lineup with somebody like if you're building multiple lineups, you can do this. If you're not, then take what I say with a grain of salt when I talk about making 12 people captain. I try to tell you my favorite 3 or 4 captains. I try to let you all know that at the end of the video, just to kind of clarify one more time. But if you're making a bunch of lineups, you need to have some Jimmy Graham captain lineups. You need to have some MVS captain lineups, Marvin Jones captain lineups, Kenny Galladay captain lineups. You need to have these pass catchers on these showdown slates. That's pretty much how it always is. But this is a night where it's like, I feel like with Green Bay playing and Devontae Adams out, you don't know if Geronimo Allison's going to go for 100-plus and a touchdown, but he could. It just depends on who gets open. And on the Detroit secondary, Justin Coleman, Darius Slay, the top 2 DBs, they're going to be obviously on MVS and Geronimo Allison, and then they're going to probably leave a linebacker or somebody like a safety sitting there on Jimmy Graham. So if Jimmy Graham can use that monster size we saw him abuse in New Orleans, I think he could be in for a really solid outing tonight. But again, just to clarify, Kerryon Johnson is my lock. He's going to get a ridiculous amount of volume against a really bad run defense tonight. And then I think if you want to play it probably the safest and look to cash in tournaments and make a lineup that makes the most sense, This is probably the way to go about it. Say that, Kerryon Johnson's going to get all this volume, and then the other, you got to run it back with Green Bay, basically. It makes sense. Generally, you'd want to have a wide receiver up top. I'm going to be doing a lot of this tonight, something like that maybe, and then go Galladay, Jimmy Graham, have two of his pass catchers, something like that. I don't think you have to lock in Aaron Rodgers tonight, and then go Jamal Williams. Even fading Aaron Jones and Aaron Rodgers is just going to be super, super different from what everybody else does. You could fade both QBs. I'm okay with it. Say Kerryon Johnson and Jamal Williams are the only two people that score touchdowns tonight. Neither QB throws a touchdown, but Jimmy Graham gets 60, 70 yards. MVS gets 100 plus. Same thing with Galladay and Jones. Something weird. This is going to be a pretty. Once we get the ownership projections, I get them around 3 o'clock today. That's when it'll start to become a little bit more clear exactly how I'm going to approach tonight's slate. But my favorite captains for tournaments, it's definitely going to be these two guys. And then if I'm going to have a guy from Green Bay, it's going to be MVS in the captain spot, just with that upside of 100 plus and multiple touchdowns. It just makes sense. I think T.J. Hawkinson and Danny Amendola are both good flex plays. I'm personally just going to be stacking a lot of Lions lineups tonight with a lot of Aaron Rodgers fade. Not that I think he's going to play bad or I think that Detroit's going to win. I don't care about that. I just don't see him having a big fantasy game here at 11-6. I think he's definitely fadeable, and we've seen him be very inconsistent this year. He's had one ceiling game, and that was against Philly. The team that Stafford sucked against, he did well against. Just like every other quarterback's doing, they did well against Philly. It's kind of a tricky situation because a lot of people are going to see that, and then they're going to go click Stafford, and they're going to see when he played Philly in the same number. And they're going to say, oh, well, Aaron Rodgers is definitely he's going to outperform him tonight. He's definitely gonna take that. And they look at these recent games here on the game logs on Draftkings, and that's pretty much all they look at. They don't have all the stats that we do over at DFS Squid. So I'm going to save my final tournament lineup and cash lineup for my members, though. I can only give y'all so much. If I give you anything more, then what's the point of even checking out the site? So good luck to everybody tonight. I hope that you were on board with us yesterday and cashed hard. Yesterday was awesome for us over there at Squid. So I cannot wait to watch this game tonight. I get off work like right before kickoff, so I might get sick like an hour before just to make sure I'm home in time. And it's going to be an awesome Monday Night Football game, and we're going to carry the heat from yesterday into tonight, into Thursday night, and straight into the next week. So good luck to everyone.